connection. And you can watch good things. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV and let the Christmas celebrations begin as we put Thanksgiving behind us. Many of our cities and towns, as long as buildings, are turning on lights, but none do it like the Silent Light event there at the Walter Anderson Museum in Ocean Springs. Joining us to tell us a little bit more about that and more is Julian Rankin, the executive director. Hey, Julian.
Hey, good to be with you.
It's been a minute. What you been up to, buddy, there in Ocean Springs?
You know, we're always busy. All of us are here in Mississippi. Lots of stuff going on. But, yeah, down here in Ocean Springs, the holidays are always a big deal. We've had festival season, and this is our festival, as you just mentioned, Silent Light. And this is presented by Hancock Whitney, and this is an illuminated wonderland here at the museum. It's a 2-day festival on Friday, December 1st and Saturday, December 2nd. And a lot of things going on, but part of the Silent Light theme and format is that there's a silent disco. So there's live music that you can hear, but there's also the silent disco, which is, if you've never done it before, it's a whole different experience. And so we'll be lighting up the streets, blocking off downtown Washington Avenue, and really having a good time. It's a free festival, and so we look forward to welcoming everybody now in its third year.
I think it's cool that it's the third year because it's something a little different. You don't necessarily hear of the silent discos, which I think they are gaining popularity amongst at least like kid events, which I think is brilliant. I think it's like a perfect win-win for the parents and then also the kids. But if you haven't ever experienced it, it's sort of hard to kind of think about, well, why would this be fun or would my kids really like it? But it sounds like the community's really catching on. Julian, is it growing each year now that you're going into your third?
It has. It's doubled the past 2 years, and we're looking for that potentially to happen again. And like you said, the silent disco may be new for some people. You put these headphones on, and you've got multiple DJs at times performing. You switch through channels, and it's really an immersive kind of soundscape in your head. But that's not the whole thing that's happening during the festival. There's also dancers and performers, lights, installations, like I said, audible live music, so bands performing as well. And it's really going to be a fun weekend.
So the Walter Anderson Museum is unique in and of itself if you drive up on it. That's one of the things that makes it so special and different from other museums is the museum itself is kind of like an art piece, which I'm sure other buildings are cool too, but y'all's is a little bit different. So how do you work with that to also illuminate it? Because I know the lighting and the whole thing, that in itself is something interesting to come and see.
Right. The other really unique piece about the light that we bring to it is that we have animated projection-mapped light shows. So, again, if you've never seen this before, it happens all over the country and the world and more increasingly here in Mississippi, too. But we animate Anderson's art, so it's almost like the museum was turned inside out, and the facade of the building is dancing with all these different shapes and designs and flora and fauna. And so it's a real amazing experience just for that component, and it's the one thing that no one else can do because we are a museum and we get to delve into the collection and share it in a new way.
If someone is wanting to make that trip, so that part, I know the disco and some of that is 2 days. Is the illumination on the museum also only coming up this weekend for those who really want to make sure they see that?
Yeah, so illumination and projection mapping is both Friday night, which is, we're calling it a kind of a garden party, and then Saturday the streets blocked off, a later festival, but projections both nights. The silent disco piece is only on Saturday. So if you really want to do the silent disco piece, the big main event is Saturday, but Friday night you get a first glimpse, you get more bands and DJs and the projection. So it'll be lit up regardless of which day you come, but it is a short window that we do this every year just for the festival.
It would be hard to think, Julian, that someone may not know who Walter Anderson is, but just in case, give us a little background on who he is to the Mississippi Gulf Coast as well as just to the greater, art world, and then how you guys really pay honor to his life's work there at the museum.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's safe to say, is Mississippi's most famous visual artist. He died in 1965, born in 1903. So, early and mid 20th century, doing a lot of his work, and he was known for many things, but also, for his fascination with nature, his adventuresome personality, going out to the barrier islands, camping in the wilderness with animals, and really communing with nature in a kind of prescient way where he's instructing us all to think about the beauty of our landscapes, to think about how we can create within them. And, of course, he made murals and block prints and paintings all about Mississippi and the Gulf South because he really loved where he was from. So it's a great way for us to continue to ignite that legacy. We talk about innovation and STEM. You mentioned the light as another medium. So a lot of what we're doing is the 21st century version of what he laid out for us, but it all goes back to curiosity, innovation, beauty, wonder, and that's what the holiday season's about. So it's a perfect connection.
And that takes effort, right? It takes community buy-in. It takes the people of Mississippi sort of buying into what you guys are trying to do to keep that legacy going. And y'all have come up with creative ways, to say the least, of trying to raise some funds to help the work that you guys do continue to go. So I don't know if Walter Anderson ever rode a golf cart around on his islands, but he probably wouldn't be opposed to it if he probably could have got one out there. But you guys have got a really unique way of mixing his art with something that a lot of folks are using these days in different ways. So tell us about the auction you have going on.
That's right. Well, we sort of invented a new fundraiser. We did away with the traditional gala and a few years ago started a raffle. The grand prize is a custom-built, valued at more than $10,000 golf cart, street legal golf cart. Amazing, technology and all the new electronics and wheels and all that. But the real thing that sets it apart is it's wrapped in Walter Anderson's murals. So every year we pick a different slice of his artwork. This year, the cart is called the Eagle Eye because the dual eagles from his Venus panel of the community center, these wonderful twirling eagles in the sky, those are on the cart. So when you drive around, you'll essentially be, a moving piece of artwork. And we love the idea that Anderson, like you said, he rode his bicycle most places. He got in a boat. But this is another way to put his art out in the world and have it moving through the landscape. So it's a really fun way to do it. And this year, I'll just say we have other prizes as well. We've actually done the same thing where we've wrapped and printed custom shoes, custom skateboards. So you don't have to be present to win. You don't have to even be in Mississippi, but anyone can go on our website now and get raffle tickets. And on Mardi Gras Day, on Fat Tuesday, every year is when we finally pull the winners, and it's really an amazing showing out of the community because it is fun, but it does support our programs year-round.
Do you have to be present to win, Julian, or in the Ocean Springs area? Okay. And how much are the raffle tickets?
So they're $25 a piece. Right now, actually, there's a kind of Cyber Monday. We're calling it Flyber Monday, as in the Eagles fly. So there's a Flyber Monday sale where you can get 25% off raffle tickets today if you go through the next couple hours here. So it's a good time to get them.
It's a good time to get them. And even if you don't win, but if you do, you'll be the talk of your neighborhood. I know a lot of folks now utilize their golf carts within their neighborhoods to sort of get around for friendly driving. But also you'll be going to good cause, right? Like because they'll help with the different kind of camps and educational experiences that you guys offer to the community throughout the year. I came across on your website, Julian, these holiday mini camps. And as a mom who would fit between this 4th and 8th grade year as a 6th grader, I was like, man, I wish I lived a little closer. So for those that do live closer, tell us about these mini camps.
So every time school gets out, folks are always trying to figure out what to do with the kids, and so we like to do these mini camps. And so December 27th through 29th for folks here on the coast, we've got a half-day camp for those 3 days for 4th to 8th graders. So again, you can find info about that on the website. But to your point, everything that we're doing with Silent Light, with the golf cart, it does all fund education. That's really the purpose of it all, is keeping Anderson's legacy alive, but more importantly, empowering and equipping the young people, the next generation, to do the work that they need to do to stay in Mississippi, to be part of the future. And so it's really important for us all to consider what Anderson left us and how much beauty there is all around us.
Especially in our outdoors here in Mississippi on the Gulf Coast, but then all around the state. I mean, inspiring our kids to get out, and if they're going to be looking through a lens, let it be, through the lens of a camera to take pictures of the landscape, or to think about painting it, or sort of creating it from, a drawing from what they see. I think that's a great way for them to spend their time for sure. If people want to spend their time just coming to the museum for the first time, maybe we've sparked their interest in giving the Walter Anderson Museum a try when they're traveling to or from the Mississippi Gulf Coast this year. Where are you guys located?
So we're in downtown Ocean Springs, 510 Washington Avenue. So the main artery of town, if you just keep going towards the beach, you can't miss us. And we just reinstalled the collection. There's new changing exhibitions. So it's a great time to visit here in the winter into the spring. Everything is fresh. Just like nature, it continues to reinvent itself. And so it's a good time to visit. And like you were saying at the outset, a lot's happening in Ocean Springs. So if you're not from here, welcome, come down, spend a day or two. We actually even have our own short-term rental Airbnb now on site at the museum. So if you want to really get an experience, you can stay in the Nest, which is all pelican themed from Walter Anderson's artwork and travels. So it's really a hotbed, and you can't go wrong vacationing down to the coast.
Do you just find that on the website Airbnb, type in Walter Anderson Museum, Will it pop up?
Just search it through Airbnb is the quickest way to get it.
That's really cool, Julian. All right, well, best of luck for this great turnout this weekend and all that you guys are doing, and then we'll talk in the new year.
Thank you.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more good things for you coming up next.